What's up, everybody? Superworks fan here for a new update in the Mustang. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing a little update on the Mustang every once in a while, and so I have it out here for my, once a week or so kind of drive in the car. And one thing I've noticed, now that this is kind of like a weekend car instead of a daily driver, is just how much I miss it. I mean, I've been kind of paranoid about this car, for a few months now, and so I didn't think I would miss it because I'd be like, well, I'm just glad I don't have to worry about it blowing up or anything. But even with my paranoia, I really miss driving this car. It's so much fun, especially now with all these, modifications on it. It's such a blast to drive. And so, that's kind of in my whole dilemma, and I'll get into that more in a few minutes here. But the main reason why I'm doing this video is to explain when I plan on selling this car, because I've been getting, I guess because I made a few comments on Instagram on my pictures and other people's pictures mentioning how I have this slight fear of the EcoBoost engine and how long it will hold up, and I said how I would like to upgrade to a GT or a GT350 eventually whenever I can afford to. And I guess some people misconstrued that to mean that I am going to ditch it like tomorrow, and that is not the case at all. I plan to keep this car for at least another year, most likely, unless something crazy happens or something unexpected. But according to my plans right now, as far as what I want to do, I'm going to keep the car for at least another year. And the main reason why is just to save up more money so that I can afford a nicer car, for one, and also because I still really enjoy this, and I don't want to just dump it as soon as I've just finished putting all these parts on it. I want to enjoy it for a while still, and I still think it's going to be a lot of fun. So that's my whole thing. But I had someone message me on Facebook recently and want to try and call dibs on parts already. I'm like, I'm not even selling it yet. Like, no dibs on parts just yet. Like, I appreciate people who are interested in this car and the parts on it and stuff, but I am not doing anything with it for at least another year, most likely. So it was just kind of funny. But anyway, back to my paranoia, and many people will think I'm overreacting. Other people may see where I'm coming from here with this, but this may be a mistake too, but I am always on the Mustang 6G forums. Whenever I have free time, I'm always on there reading up on stuff and following other EcoBoost Mustang builds and all that kind of stuff. And so I follow the community very closely, and it seems like almost every time that I go into the EcoBoost sub-forum on that Mustang forum, there's always someone that's a new person that's saying, oh, my engine blew up. And it's something that, I look on the GT forum and you really don't see too many people with 5.0s blowing up. And you go on the V6 forum and you very rarely see someone with a V6 blowing up. But the EcoBoost, it's like every other week I seem to be seeing someone that's having some kind of failure or other related issues. And there's, debates about whether or not catch cans are good or how you're supposed to set them up. And people are having issues with that whole thing. And there's all kinds of issues and stuff. And so, me being a fairly paranoid person already as is, it's probably not good for me to see everyone else's cars blowing up, because then it just makes me terrified to drive my own. But that's just the thing, is there's been some that, like there was one recently that had all good mods. Like some of these people put terrible mods on their car, or they have a sketchy tuner, or there's some other reason why the car blows up. They beat on it, they're terrible with it, they don't know how to drive it. Anything like that, fine, okay, you can write it off, nothing to worry about. But recently I've been seeing people with good mods, good tunes, that aren't doing anything wrong. It's not LSPI or anything like that, and it's still just going kaboom. That kind of terrifies me, if I'm honest. And so that's kind of one of the reasons why I was like, okay, this car is going to become a weekend car. I am not daily driving this. I'm not racking up miles on it, because I feel like I'm just playing with fire at this point. So, having said that, and all those paranoias, I've been dealing with this over the past few months, and that's been something that I've been driving the car regardless and just still trying to enjoy it, because you can't just live your life in fear. You have to enjoy it, and if something goes wrong, then you fix it and you get through it. But, you can't be constantly worried about what if and, what's going to happen and what could happen when it may never actually happen. So, I recognize that, and so I've been driving it still and enjoying it still. And like I said, the more that I drive it, the more that I enjoy it whenever I only drive it like once or twice a week. It really, it's because this exhaust is pretty loud and everything about this car is very dramatic. And, daily driving it's a lot for a daily driver, I think, but it's totally something that most people would probably be fine with a daily driver. But, now that I drive these calm and normally fairly mundane and peaceful daily driver cars, Okay, this lady is not going. Never mind, I'll go. Anyway, but now that I'm driving these press cars, which aren't always sports cars and things like that, this is a lot more exciting because it's like, okay, I have a normal thing for going and getting groceries in, and then whenever I want to have fun and just go for a drive on a back road, I hop in this and have a blast. And so I think I've gotten over most of those fears, because there are people with higher miles than me that have been tuned since day one, basically, that haven't had any issues, and I have a lot of faith in the Cobb Parts and in Adam at Tune Plus, who's one of the best tuners out there for this car, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the community. He's very highly regarded, and someone is going super slow on my favorite back road. This is very disappointing. Anyway, well, they're going like 10 miles per hour. Anyway, so yes, all this traffic's interrupting me and I can't do my video right. Anyway, okay, now there's people walking on the side of the road. This is just a really strange day. Anyway, so yes, like I was saying, I've kind of gotten over all those paranoias and I'm really just enjoying the car now. And so because of that, I plan to drive it, once every week or two at least. I'll be taking it to just about every Cars and Coffee that I can. If you go to Cars and Coffee this season, so you'll be able to check it out and hear the exhaust in person. I think it definitely sounds better in person. And overall, I think that it's still a really, really fun car and I like it a lot. But having said that, getting back to the original point of the video, I do plan on moving on, and I still do want a GT. A GT350 would be sweet, but that's, way more expensive than a regular GT. So, but, I want to hopefully move into one of those two. The reason why I'm waiting a year is, like I said, I want to enjoy this, but also because there's a heavy refresh for the Mustang that should be coming for the 2018 model year, which will be out, next summer of 2017. And so I want to wait and see what enhancements there are. I don't want to go and, get one now whenever there could be something really sweet coming out in, 12 months or less. So I want to wait and see, what the styling changes are and if there's more power and what they do with the engines and the interior and all that kind of stuff, so that I don't regret, buying something this year. And I'm also keeping my fingers crossed for maybe a special edition like a Bullet or a Mach 1 to come out. So, just kind of going to wait it out and see, what materializes, and then make my decision, sometime probably next summer. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not in a hurry to get rid of this, not like selling this tomorrow or anything like that. So if I talk on Instagram about wanting a GT or, stuff like that, I do, and I eventually will, hopefully at some point, upgrade. But for the time being, I'm sticking with this. So just wanted to put that out there, because like I said, there seemed to have been a lot of confusion recently about that, and a lot of people thinking I'm selling this right away, and I'm definitely not. So anyway, yes, that's it as far as the whole little update. The car, by the way, mileage-wise, is still roughly unchanged. We're at 27,400 miles roughly, so not putting too many miles on it, but that's good because it's going to help with the resale value. And whenever I do plan to get rid of it, but it's still, got a good amount of miles on it for a 2015, so just kind of giving it a rest for a little bit. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.